What up?
Yo, what up?
What up?
Chilling.
What up?
I'm in the whips like the hoodies.
Oh, the
Y-
rap group.
y-
I'm in the whip.
Yeah, the little brothers with little Big Papa.
Mm.
Yeah, they crushed that joint on one of Flex's you know.
Yeah. I remember when they went live. Little
Oh
bit
boy.
had like a little voice.
Yeah. So what's been going on though, man? Long week.
Yeah. Long week,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, me
Long
too.
week. Long, long everything. It's like
Yeah.
long everything, bro. Like long everything. Christina, what's good with you? Tempest, what's up? What's up? What's up?
What up?
How y'all
What's up?
doing? How y'all doing? We're not gonna keep y'all all night. Not tonight.
Yeah,
We'll
not
keep y'all for
tonight.
a little bit, you know? We're not gonna bother y'all too much. You know.
Money sign.
Hey Regine, what's going on? What's up? What's up? What's up?
I'll tell you, man. It's
Hola. Hola.
man, they got a Olaf from Georgia. Okay, Georgia,
Okay. Okay.
Christina, Georgia on my mind, like Ray Charles said, right?
All day.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. What's been up with you, man? I know I ain't said too much, but what's been up with
Nah, I
you, bro?
just been chilling and yo, long. Actually, it's been a long week, man. Actually, I feel like it's been a long month. April
I
just
got
feel
you
like
on
a
that.
long month, but
Kelly. Hey.
outside of that, it's been yeah, I just been chilling, man. Just chilling, man. Finally got a couple of days off, so starting tomorrow. But
Where you going?
just
You ain't staying local. You said you got time off too. You out. Where you
yeah,
going? Where you going?
yeah,
Where you going?
going out to Detroit.
LC, what's going on? What's going on? Detroit.
hmm What's up?
Detroit.
Yeah.
Detroit. You gonna buy some properties while you out there?
Yo, once I looked at it, man, they got cheap shit, man, but I don't know how much. I don't know how much, like, I mean, most of them require you to fix them up, but then after you fix them up, man, I don't really know what the rental market is out there for it, or the resale of it. But there was a lot of abandoned properties out in Detroit area, that you definitely could have scooped up if you were willing to put in like renovation type work and everything like that. You definitely could have got use a couple of properties, not just a property. I mean, you could
Right.
have shit
Right.
100 come out there at 100,000 or something, man. Shit, you go on the whole block. You just gotta fix every house up.
Yeah, but you gotta live there too, or something that's depending on how you buy. Depending on how you buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got like stipulations and stuff like that. You know? Yeah.
hmm
Yeah, man.
But other than that, just chilling too, man, and waiting on this rain. They said supposed to be coming, and waiting to do that little driving experience I was telling you about. That
Yeah, let's
the
talk
little
about that.
BMW.
Curtis, what's good? What's good? That's our guy right there. Curtis, when you coming on the show, man, come hang out.
Yeah,
Charles is about to talk about driving BMWs and stuff.
yeah.
You
Okay,
know,
he a driver. He's a driver.
I think we all drivers.
Yeah. True.
All of us pretty much with our license at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Peace, Curtis. Now I just, Curtis is like day one with us.
Yeah,
Curtis is
no
day
doubt.
one. Regine is day one. Tempest is day one.
Yeah,
Um, you know, Christina, welcome again. Kelly, welcome again. LC, welcome again.
yeah.
Some of us been riding together here through the pandemic. But what were you
Yes.
saying though, man? You said you was about to go and drive BMWs.
Yeah, they got like a this driving experience this weekend. It's gonna be in out of Nassau Coliseum on Saturday, and they do it yeah, not yeah. What's funny is I think they got the SUVs there too, man. They set up like a course with cones, out in Nassau Coliseum, and they create these courses, and you get to drive the BMWs and test I think it's called a DSC, dynamic suspension control or something like that, and they want you to drive it like not so much like you racing the car racetrack, like normal driving, so you can feel when you can feel the car and how it handles and different things like that. And they got some of the electric ones and some of the M series ones. From my understanding, they have a couple of different cars to choose from and everything, and it's totally free. Like all you had to do was sign up and sign the waiver, and just go. It didn't cost nothing or anything. They want you to come.
Yeah, man. Curtis, anytime you want to jump on, man, we here. We actually, I think we're in our third year.
Yeah.
Through the whole pandemic, we was up here all together and chopping it up and figuring it out, which, interestingly enough, CNN and Fox did some chopping this year.
They rolled some heads.
We did some chopping this week. Kelly, you can't tell people like me that because I rent cars heavy. I'll be like, Kelly, can you give me a discount? Kelly, can you give me a discount?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, there's some chopping going on in the mass media world, man. I said, oh, Rick Ross offered.
Yeah, that was crazy.
He offered Don Lemon a job. It's not funny because a job is a job. Hard work is hard work. Okay? He offered him a job
to be a deep fryer. Yo, he said he got a nice frying area for him to work in, kid, and that is cleaned and everything.
Yo, why he go there like that, bro?
He's wrong, but you know what I didn't understand is what was Rick Ross's thing with Don Lemon? Did they have he just didn't like his commentary as a news thing, or was what was his issue with Don Lemon?
I don't know. And to Kelly's point, yeah, Rick was definitely wrong for that. And also, Kelly, you got an Audi truck? I ain't mad at you. I don't know, but I think there probably was something in the back. So there has to be, bro. We gotta look it up. But there was a clip that we shared where basically Don Lemon was going at a gentleman who was an Indian guy, and the Indian guy was basically saying one thing to Don Lemon about the black experience, and Don Lemon was like, "Nah, hush up." And some people are saying that that's probably part of the reason that it happened. You know what I mean? Which, who knows? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Tucker Carlson was a shock, but so necessary. Yeah, I was a little surprised about that. I was a little surprised because I think he's a galvanizer for a lot of.
He was that number one show too,
and he was the number one show, and he influenced politics indirectly.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Oh, he definitely had a lot of people listening to his nonsense, but nonetheless.
Louis Lou, what up, my little bro? What up? I'm sorry, I had to shout out my bro Lou. Okay. Welcome to the show. This is your first time up here, I think. We here, man, and we have real talk with an E, REEL talk.
Mm-hmm.
See, we couldn't use REAL. It was like 25 million real talks. So really, we were like 25 million and one, but we just called it with real, like I guess sort of fake way of being real, because it doesn't. Welcome to the show, bro. Welcome to the show, right? But Fox wasn't talking about his leaks. Whoa, text though. Oh, I don't know. You know about some leaked text messages?
Nah, they actually, Fox really skirted over the whole from the settlement to the firing, Fox like skirted over this like very matter of factly, man. You know, he said Byron Allen brought the network. Yeah, that would be funny, right? Wouldn't that be funny of all things?
Oh, that would be different. And let's call a spade a spade. I mean, Don Lemon has had some interesting moments, and overall, like I rocked with Don Lemon, but there was a few times like back in the days. I don't even, bro, I haven't watched the regular news. That's why sometimes when we be up here, bro, like I be getting like little snippets and stuff, and I really don't be knowing sometimes like the depth of some of this stuff. And then the stuff that I know about, like I've been looking at what's going on in Sudan. I'm trying to, educate myself a little bit more about that. But I was definitely surprised that they got rid of both of them the same day. You know what I'm saying?
But they said that I was seeing some shit. They think that the Dominion people, that was one of the part of that.
Christina just hit on that. Christina just hit on that.
Yeah. But I'm gonna tell you that they were saying that they think that part of the settlement was that Dominion wanted him fired also. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. That would be gangster. Oh,
that's what like there's speculation that was also part of the settlement, because then they were saying that like Rupert Murdoch was the one who directly ordered his firing, but that the son didn't want to do it. Like he didn't want to fire him. They said that his pops made him do it, but they were speculating that maybe one of the conditions of you know what it is, I think, man, is that at the end of the day, I think Fox could have withstood this lawsuit because they got money. That's the reality, right? They got money. And you can make this back as long as you keep preaching this to the same things who you preaching it to, right? But I think with this second one coming, with this second, they say the second lawsuit is stronger than the first. And,
Yeah.
So you're starting to get into some astronomical numbers, kid. And just like straight up though, but you were lying. That's the bottom line. Like, you were lying.
Right.
And you admitted, like, you basically admitting to the tune of $800 million. Like, you were just lying.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like, it's gonna change Fox's bank account, but it ain't gonna change the people that follow him. That die like this. This another conspiracy. You know what I'm saying? This ain't Tucker was lying. This ain't like no extreme right-wing bullshit. This is another conspiracy where the judge in the case are, what all the type of shit they think to say. So he gonna pop up somewhere on his own somewhere. He'll be all right.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? I just like, bro, like honestly, bro, like I don't even think I've heard anything from that dude like 4 or 5 years. Like, bro, I think for CNN, like I don't even think I've been watching CNN like over the last like 2 years, bro. Like I'm like a year or so. Like I've been really falling back from just the overload. You know what I mean? And so I do my NPR and my BBC.
Yeah, and plus, it was probably easier for CNN too, because they was like, his show was rated low.
Oh, Don?
Yeah, like the one he had at night, that was like low, and then when they moved him to his morning gig or whatever, they were saying that all his shows had low ratings. So people ain't tuning into him generating the big bucks, so it's kind of probably easier to let him go.
Yeah. Why they doing like that though, yo? Bro, they like you get an announcement about Tucker, and then all of a sudden you get an announcement about Don.
Yeah.
Tucker and Don gone.
Yo, what if they went and did a show together? How crazy would that be?
Almost as crazy as Gayle King and Charles Barkley. And they're gonna call it King. What do they call it? King Charles?
Oh, yeah.
King Barkley. I don't even want to see that, bro. Like, yeah, Louis, what trend in particular? You talking about the fact that the AI is actually singing like rap lyrics and sounding like rappers, or what part of it? I think all of that stuff is dangerous. I mean,
Extremely
without
dangerous.
the regulations, I think it's dangerous. I think it's scary.
And see, the regulations aren't going to come until somebody done already cheated so far ahead, man.
Yeah. 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 I mean, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, as far as the music trend, I think that there's a lot of talk right now about them putting some type of laws and order which say or identify the AI. I would never want somebody to take my voice and then all of a sudden they clip my voice and got me on the telephone saying, yo, I'm gonna run up in this bank and do whatever. And next you know, they knocking at my door and I'm like, dude, I was like in the garden. What are you talking about? Like, what are you like, where's this coming from? That's how dangerous this thing is. You know? When I look at like for instance, like we might dive into Singapore real quick because Charles is about to go to Singapore. I hate to rat you out. Charles going to Singapore, and in one of the articles that we posted in the group, and I'm going to relate this back to AI. They were saying that they hung a dude because he had 2 pounds of marijuana in Singapore. They killed him. They hung him. And I was like, that's some BS. And then Charles just casually reminded us because Charles is about laws. Well, sort of hard over there. You got to stay within the bounds of being it's illegal, And then some of the people in the chat were saying, well, what if somebody accuses you of something? So think about that same scenario with AI. Now your voice or your likeness, you at work, and then you get ran up on there like, yo, you called in a threat to such and such, and now you facing 10 years. That stuff is crazy to me. That stuff is absolutely crazy to me. What's your thoughts about it, Charles?
No, definitely. Yo, I mean, a lot of banks, so I can call like with TD. I have an account with TD, and I call, but one of the security things is voice recognition.
Dang, that's a good.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good.
So the AI, if one of the security breaches, because I don't think it's really that hard if you really looking. I mean, we give out the last 4 while social so much, man. Like I think anybody could probably get their hands on that by now. And but but a lot of times they don't even take you through a lot of these prices. Like when I start talking with TD, they'll at some point they'll be like, "Thank you, we verified you through the voice thing from the app." But now I will say this. I had to give permission back when I first did it for them to be able to use my voice as that security feature. But I'm gonna tell you what happened. And this is when they first started doing it. So, who knows what the technology was like. But it didn't recognize my voice one time. I don't know, Bluetooth speaker or whatever, and it locked me out of my account. And because I tried to call in and it didn't recognize my voice,
it locked you out of everything.
It shut everything down, man. I had to call to get everything open back up and actually speak to, the department, like the fraud or whatever it was, man, to get all that stuff undone. And it actually frustrated me, and I took the permission away. because I was like, yo, I can't have that happen somewhere. Like I can't, something. But then I eventually put it back on. But it was.
So what happens if AI calls and goes through the whole system? Somebody programmed an AI, and they take all the money.
Well, I would hope that you would get it back through the same type of insurance. I mean, because at the end of the day, it's still fraud.
Right.
So, you should be protected against the fraud. But they're gonna have to come up. See, the thing with the thing that I would have to wonder though is what additional features. What's up, Thie? Like, what are the additional features that you would go through?
Well, check out what I'm saying. You see what he wrote? They have uncontrollable updates teaching themselves how to live and act as human beings.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what someone else said up there earlier. Like they're teaching themselves new languages, different things. Like, yo, they're literally gonna be smarter than us. You know what I'm saying? Because what's gonna make them smarter?
They definitely are gonna be smarter than us as far as the data.
Yeah, but that's exactly why though, son. Because they can process. First of all, they can memorize, so to speak, which their brain compared to our brain, their ability to store all of that data information and then have basically total recall of that data and information and to be able to process it instantaneously. Like that's what we can't even process all of that type of data.
Yeah.
And then even if we could fit it in our head, we ain't gonna be able to remember all that shit. And then even if we could remember it, we ain't gonna be able to remember it and calculate it and process it in milliseconds. It's just not like, yo, that they actually are also intellectually faster than us.
They are.
You know what I'm saying? So
the only thing that we have working against this type of technology is the actual generation of power and the source of power. Meaning literally power that powers these systems, electricity and stuff. But again, Tempest had written a little while ago about like the Matrix and iRobot and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a movie. Like that could happen. You know what I think about when people sometimes are like sort of naysayers, I say to them, have you ever heard of a car driving and then something in the computer system in that car goes wrong and then that car never slows down? It actually speeds up. Welcome, Kristen. Speeds up. And then it crashes. So whatever the old systems that we used to drive, I don't know nothing about cars. Like Charles, you know everything about cars. But I remember back in the day, something go wrong, kick that joint neutral, you're good to go. You know what I'm saying? Where is the neutral? Like, what is going on that these systems are kicking in? And people are dying, God forbid, and sadly, because these cars are flying at 100 miles an hour and they can't stop them. My brain can't even wrap around that, let alone the type of fraud that can possibly happen when people start really utilizing this technology to steal and harm people.
Well, I mean, that's where it's probably going to start originally at. It's going to start with like fraud and people using it for, I mean, obviously it's created, with the greater good in mind, as they say, but when you start thinking about what you could do with it, and especially the type of money and stuff surrounding this, man, like, and understanding human nature, man, like you already know somebody is going to use it for crazy purposes. Somebody's going to use it for fraudulent financial gain and everything. And then you're saying, if you're programming it, let's say you're actually programming it to these type of things, and then it becomes its own criminal. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine that. Fucking God. You know, shit, you got fucking artificial people out here shooting us with ghost guns, kid. You know,
I'm not laughing,
really
but I'm laughing. I'm not laughing that it actually happened. I'm laughing like, yeah, duh. Like people ain't paying attention. For instance, and we talked about this before. Now they got the robot dogs in New York. Hey, yo, I saw this thing, man. It was so hilarious, bro. I don't know if I shared it with you, but it was like, yeah, you know, we got to protect these dogs. Make sure that you don't pour any oil or sand down in front of them. Make sure you don't spray any type of spray paint or anything over any of the sensors when they come near you. Yo, and it was basically telling you the different ways of disrupting that technology. But I'm like, yo, they got robot dogs in New York. Hello? Robot dogs in New York. This is not the Fort Apache of the Bronx from before. This is some new stuff. 42nd Street don't look like 42nd Street. Where are they going with this technology? Where are they going with this technology? I mean, think about it, you know? And then when you say stuff like that, oh, you want some conspiracy? Ain't no conspiracy. The dead dogs, they revealed the dogs. And another thing, those robots can balance. Like you can knock them over and they can actually catch themselves. They can literally catch themselves. And will come after you. Yo, AI done going wild, y'all. AI has gone wild. Yeah. You know,
but
so
then also like, but think about some of the things that like that people would enjoy, like if you used it to like figure out, you know, statistical probabilities and stuff, and that you're betting on and gambling on and stuff like that, and basically, you know, I mean, it's almost like yo, that's what I was going to say. Literally, that's what I was going to say. I said, yo, it's almost like it's cheating, but how does a FanDuel or like a Caesar, a sport booking thing, how do you stop that? Like it's just, I mean,
yeah, they're gonna make it where you're not gonna be able to go into any casino with anything, bro. Like you can't bring a cell phone. You can't. It's gonna go back to like 1979 up in that piece, you know, where you better know how to count cards. That's it.
I just saw that something with the cell phone. One of the directors of, oh damn man, I read that article too. I forgot what he was the director of, but he's high up there in something, and he went into the office floor with his own personal cell phone, and they came to the building and escorted him out of there. You know, like that's like criminal. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, damn, like you're not even allowed to bring a cell phone in onto the like working floor there with you. But they said, you know, it's a lot of classified documents in there though. You know,
yeah, that sort of makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know, we're gonna be honest about it. That sort of makes sense to me, you know?
Yeah.
Quick question, bro. Hard pivot for a second. Did you see that Praz was found guilty on like 10 counts of international fraud?
Yeah. They said he was doing is paying money on behalf of that Chinese businessman or something.
Absolutely. You called it. That's exactly what they said he was doing. And I mean, I don't know much about that stuff, so you know, I can read up on it, meaning like why it's such an issue. But apparently, he really messed up with that. I'm gonna say it like that. Like he really messed up. Because he's looking at some real time, bro. Yeah. He's looking at some real time. Wow. Pat, what up? What up? What up? What's going on, Pat?
Yeah. I mean, you know, I mean, he anybody that gets convicted in federal court is basically done, unless they got a 5K1 letter or something with substantial assistance. Wow. You know, they basically And you went to trial and got found guilty. I mean, so they're gonna figure out whatever his guideline range is and
They're gonna burn
send
him.
him on his way.
Yeah, they're gonna. But what got into him? Is it green? Like, dude, you positive Fugees. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, my whole thing is like, I mean, 10, 20 million is very compelling, especially if you have a greedy mind, especially if you have a thief mind or something. It's compelling. But
and especially if you're doing it and playing a game that you think everyone else is already playing it anyway, like that, because I mean, it ain't no secret that money influences politics.
Yes.
Money influences everything. That's the bottom line. You talk about, whatever you want. You could recite all type of stuff about the love of money. It rules the world. Finance is definitely ruling the world, and it's a hell of a motivator. And if you think about it, first of all, like you said, damn, I don't even understand how giving somebody some money for shit is almost illegal anyway, right? So you're already struggling with I don't even know how I'm actually breaking the law, especially when it comes to that finance. Well, if you breaking finance, contribution, campaign laws and rules and shit like that, I would argue that almost nobody knows what the fuck they are anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Before you get into that, nobody really know, can I donate this? I can't donate. That's not something that a lot of people just instinctively, have ideas about. And then, like I said, you're also doing something that 100%. Now, maybe some of the donations are legal, some are under the table, but that people are constantly throwing money to influence politics. Politics in the world, and especially in America, are never going to be straight up when they can be bought with money. You know what I'm saying? You just can't, fuck it. I'll legislate a new law because somebody gave me $35 million to do it. You know what I'm saying? And what is it to you? Half of the senators and Congress people, y'all operating like you're above the law anyway. So, for what do I care about writing some law that ain't even gonna affect me because somebody gave me 30 million to my campaign? So
yeah.
So that's why it's so when you hear somebody even get convicted of campaign finance and rules and laws, it's like, well, are you serious? Money? Because I mean, like Steve wrote, basically it's a game that we know is being played anyway.
Right. How you gonna be positive Fugees and make this type of mistake, man? I mean, people make mistakes, but you're positive the Fugees. You're supposed to be writing rhymes and staying positive, and don't let that money influence you like that. I mean, I gotta say that, man, because I really can't understand it, bro. I was like
why you would get involved in it?
How did this happen to you? Like, for real?
Yeah, how did you go from one of the greatest albums of all time, one of the best-selling albums of all time, to being in prison for? I don't think though that he's probably gonna get a lot of time for that. Maybe
they're gonna let him rock.
I mean, I don't know if they're gonna let him rock, but well, first of all, when I say get a lot of time, that's relative to how you gauge time. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because I'll be like, yo, he ain't gonna get a lot of time, and he gets 7 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it's time for me. Anything away from my freedom, that's
exactly.
Time. I don't give a damn if it's 12 seconds. That's 12 seconds of
so
my
when,
time.
When I look at somebody getting 5-6 years in prison, I look at it like, oh, he ain't gonna really get a lot of time for that. Because I'm equating it to not the actual, you're looking at it, a lot of people look at it like you just said, how many days or how many years am I away from my family? So if 5 years is an eternity. I look at it from a perspective of what he could have got to what he's going to get, because you already going to be away from your family with the guilty verdict. So with that, ain't it? So now we got to see how long it's going to be. So if I'm facing 40 years after being found guilty, either through plea agreement or a jury trial or a judge trial, if I know that I'm already found guilty, here's what I know. Even if I went on appeal, here's one thing I know is definitely happened. I'm about to be sentenced. So now it's like, yo, if I'm facing 40 and I could get 5, yo, let me walk with that 5, man. That ain't that bad for me. You know what I'm saying? I would even argue, man, shit, for $20-30 million, a lot of people will voluntarily go to prison for 5 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, man, I ain't doing this with you, man. I'm not doing this with you.
Shit, I might contemplate it, man. Fucking medium security place somewhere. I'll go chill for a few minutes, go get on some workout shit, get my health and everything back together. Like,
you're gonna
start working out everything. Come out 20 million richer, man. And I could really put my middle finger up to the world.
Bro, hold on, bro. Quick question. Why they transfer R. Kelly to Button in North Carolina, bro?
Medical. Button is a medical facility.
Ooh. Perry, what up? Do not get Charles started on the damn Knicks halfway through.
I already knew they was gonna win.
Don't do this.
I already had a bet on the Knicks, and the dude I bet was talking that they wasn't gonna win today. I asked him, did he want to up the bet? Yo, this dude, he a Brooklyn fan, right? Yo, he wouldn't bet me that Brooklyn would win one game. I was like, yo, I bet you they won't win a game. And he wouldn't bet me. He took Cleveland. I took the Knicks, obviously. And it was 3-1. And we was talking yesterday. I was like, yo, they done tomorrow. Nah, not when they go home. I was like, yo, we could up the bet, kid. They done when we get them.
He didn't want to touch it.
Yo, I mean, Cleveland can't beat us, man. They couldn't beat us all year. I don't know why. This is not a shock to me. They could not beat us all year long. They won one game all year, and that was back in like November before we started balling. Once we started balling, Cleveland did not beat us into that one game in the playoffs, which obviously you got to give them one game at home. That's it. Yo, we mopped them up. We played Cleveland 8 times this year. We were 6-2 against them. They were never competition for us. Get out of here, man. They mopped up. And if Miami wins against Milwaukee, mark my word, we're gonna mop Miami up too. And if Boston is not, I don't think Boston is gonna beat Philly this year, right? Because I don't think Boston plays. So you're gonna have Philly against Boston. If they don't mess around and blow it to Atlanta, which I doubt, though, you're going to have Philly playing Boston, and you're going to have us playing Miami. Yo, we are going to mop Miami up. And I think Philly is going to beat Boston. Excuse me. Because I don't think Boston is I don't know, man. I don't think Boston is good enough defensively, man.
Got you.
Yep. Boston is not, like we can out rebound. Boston is not. I don't think Boston is good enough defensively, man. I don't think they're good defense. I think they're probably honestly, I don't know. I think, we gonna get it. I'm not worried about Boston either, but I don't think we're gonna face Boston because I think Philly's gonna beat Boston this year. And I like our chance. I love our chances against Miami Heat. I think we'll do Miami Heat almost like we did Cleveland. But I think Miami will win one extra game. They'll definitely beat us one game. And then we got to give them a second game because Jimmy Butler will probably have a 45-point game, something crazy. He got one of those coming. And after that, the rest of the games, they get whopped up.
What do you think about what Steve said about the Yankees?
Yo, the Yankees pitching, starting pitching is hurt. So you can't even talk about it, but the Yankees bullpen stinks like it did last year. Yankee don't got no bullpen. They won today 12-6, but the dude came in. Look, how many runs did they give up, man? If that was a regular game, they would have lost. They would have blew it, giving up all the runs. Yankees bullpen is garbage, and their starting pitching is hurt. You know, you got Cortez and you got Cole. Severino, Montas, and Rendon. 3/5 of our projected starting rotation is injured. So it is what it is. You know, like we trying to put it together. Aaron Judge is a strikeout king, even though, you know, I still like him, but the dude, he strikes out too much, man.
Keith, what up? It's my fellow Falcon right there. Bro, I gotta ask you a question, man. Did you see the New York Post article on the trans woman that beat like 14,000 women in a marathon? And they were like, you didn't see that? And they were like, if you get a chance, Google the article or go check it out. People was not feeling that win.
Yeah,
they were not
understandably
feeling that win. Because, you know, at this point, you know, the trans woman still has all of the man parts and won this race of 14,000 women. And a lot of women were not happy about that. And I just found it to be interesting because, you know, I had a friend of mine that
where was the race held up?
It was like in what was it? Something like that? No, it was in somewhere overseas. Somewhere I should know, but hold on, I'll tell you real quick. Hold on, I got the article right here. The article's actually in one of the threads. Was it transgender runner Glenique Frank is offering to return her London. It was London. Okay, London Marathon.
Oh, hey, you see what Tempest said?
I didn't see. Yes, I read that, but what they buried is that they came in nowhere near the winner's circle. They buried what they came in at.
Yo, Paul, man, what's up, man? I gotta give you a call. I just told Dev that the other day. I said, yo, man, I gotta call Paul. I meant to call him back, man. Just finished telling Dev it's been a busy month.
Oh wow. Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that part.
So what did Tempest seems to know? So what medal did Glenique win?
They're angry because they're saying that one of the 14,000 women behind me could have had my place. Really? I did the race in 4 hours and 11 minutes. There's a lot of women that beat me, noted Frank, who came in 6,159th place in the female category. I get it. I'm not a woman. I don't have a womb, said Frank, who plans to pay around $20,000 to have top and bottom surgery next year. But I didn't compete as an elite, so I didn't steal any money. Frank told the Post she was trying to spread joy and happiness with the rainbow love when she stopped to speak to the BBC reporter covering the UK race on Sunday. The footage showed Frank in a sports bra and draped in transgender flag, crediting girl power while flexing his muscles. Time out.
Yeah, I know.
Why they write this like this, man?
Yeah, exactly. Like you're switching pronouns, talking about the same person
like
in
this?
the article.
She was soon going to be a Granny G. They're wrong for the way they wrote this. They're not right. This is not right, man. A celebratory interview only became viral after it was shared by outraged two-time Olympic marathon runner Mara Yamachi, who raged, males in the female category is unfair to females. Yamachi noted how the hobbyist ran as female just months after competing in the New York Marathon as male. That's interesting too. Frank stressed, however, that London was the first of her 17 planned marathons for which she was able to pick her own name and gender. The other major marathons, Tokyo, Boston, Berlin, Chicago, and New York City, all forced her to register under the name and gender on her passport. So.
Okay. So he's a guy that ran in the girls' race.
I mean, yeah. I mean, and yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things that I was thinking. Like, so if he has all his man parts, he ain't paid that 20 grand yet. So he put on a wig. He ran in the marathon with women.
And I don't even know how they allow that to be like you to compete with that, man. Oh. Like no, yo, you shouldn't be able to like it. If you were born a man, no matter how you identify at some point later on in life, you should not be allowed to compete in a woman's sport. Because I just don't think that that's right, man.
Well, to your point, somebody had made a suggestion that maybe at this point there should be a trans league, for people that are transitioning from one side to the other. And, I mean, I struggle with it in this light. Let's just say my daughter, Amy. She's 19 years old. And she used to play softball and she did some other things. So let's just say she gets into boxing, right? She gets into boxing and then she gets in the ring with a man that's trans, has his male parts, and he breaks a part of something on her face or something like that. Let me tell you something. There's no conversation at this point because there's a bunch of people that are men, and this is all me just throwing stuff out there, so don't y'all get mad at me, okay? That probably hate women and then put themselves in those types of situations just to beat women. Yeah, I said something that might be like, oh, it's a blanket statement. But even if it's just one, it's just wrong. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. I mean, they're trying to get stipulation out of sports where if you transition after puberty, you have to compete in the gender you were born as. That's a start, but but it doesn't change. Like I don't know how it works. I don't know how it works, bro. And I know sometimes like people get mad when you talk about this stuff, but it has to be on both sides. You have to, you should be able to champion what you believe in and support what you believe in and understand that just because you believe in it and support it, it doesn't mean that everybody's going to believe in and support it. And if somebody has a contradicting or another opinion, that's their opinion. That's their opinion. I don't know if I understand. Does that mean
that comment just made me think like how do you actually so if you say that you identify as a female and you're trans or whatever, like the governing body that registers the women for the races or whatever, like what is the definitive I wonder how they rate the authenticity, so to speak, of your transgenderness or your identifying, like, how it has to be something more than like, oh, today I'm running against the women so I could win a medal because this is how I identify. It can't be that simplistic. So I wonder what is the rules or criteria that allows a person to qualify.
That's a great Great question. I mean, I'll put it to you this way. There's a clip that was going around, and on the clip, it was a trans woman, and she was having a discussion with one of the brothers from the Nation of Islam, and she straight up said,
Joanna, man.
"Oh Lord, that's a movie, man. It's a movie. Stop laughing at this. Don't laugh at this. Why though? Really? But Charles, stop making me laugh.
Oh boy.
Stop making me laugh. I'm trying to be Flame Monroe. There it goes. Let me get If you can find that clip, please, Tempest, if you could put the clip in here, because I wanted to find it really quick. Because what Flame Monroe said, and this is a transsexual man, said, listen, we fought hard to not be called transvestites. And a man is a man, and a trans woman is just that. It's somebody that is going from one thing to the other, but there's a difference. There's a difference. Let's see. No, they need to fully identify and fully change legally. So, for example, you can't keep declaring back and forth. It's basically your legal name and identity. So how you place yourself on EEO form and what you say you are, that's what the bathroom will go to, for example. But here's my thing. All right. One of the things that no one talks about is all of the different people who have transitioned that are struggling, and they transition to one thing and the regret. And all of the things that they have to do to stay that way, all the things that they have to do to their bodies to maintain. And a lot of them are like, well, dang, like, so my whole thing is it probably, to add to your point, there probably needs to be an educational component where they understand that, you know, once you cut out what is down there naturally, you literally have to maintain that because it's technically an open wound for the rest of your life, so it doesn't get infected, you know. And you, unfortunately, you have a lot of people that make the decision, and no one talks about that. You know, no one talks about that. You know, either way, it's transgender if you're making the transition to one or the other from one. Yeah, but to your point, you know, Flame Monroe, I'm glad Tempest put the name in there, was just like, even with that, there's a difference. And then the one thing he said, or she said, because I don't want to be disrespectful, is that once you make that transition, you can't. I'm having a brain fart right now because I have too many thoughts in my head. I'm having a brain fart. And some of these. What was the last thing that Flame Monroe said that was like, yo, made a lot of sense? I'm having a brain fart right now. Having a brain fart. Yeah. A lot of education, because, you know, too many times people talk about like people basically being pressured by their family to stay one way, you know. So you're a boy, you're a girl, don't do this, don't do that. But no one talks overall about the pressure that sometimes is applied when people want you to experience something they've experienced and they're biased towards the pendulum. So it's like, you know, you can't, don't worry about, there's nothing wrong with this, come on this way. And then people do it and they're like, oh, what just took place? And I think that stuff needs to be addressed, you know. I only mention the movie because art imitates it, just like the movie where there was an unfair advantage in real life, it's an unfair advantage. So that was the real.
Oh, here's an interesting question.
What if people start to extend this to race, can someone who was born white say I identify as black? Is that unique than black? How far does this go in terms of declaring their identity? See, but guess what?
Yo, and not like that lady with that in Seattle, I think that was the NAACP, and turned out she was a white woman or whatever. Like, yeah. What is that? Oh, boy. Bruce.
I'll put it to you this way.
That was actually a good question.
Are you familiar with that book, Black Like Me? You familiar with that? Where like a white guy like did something and literally turned his skin black and was living technically like a black dude, but he was a white dude, and then he learned for what he was going through, what experiences that he never would have experienced otherwise, you know? So what if people start to extend this to race? Because someone who's born white say, I identify as black, but that's already sort of been happening, but no one takes it serious. Like, I mean, it's not catching legs because we all know that real well. Most people won't want to be black, not in person, even if they just indicate they're black. Most people won't be black. That's just straight up. I love being black. I love.
And they always ask them. That's what they always ask liberals, the liberal white people. They always ask them that you know, like not just being empathetic to the situation. Like, would you want to be that? And that shit. That's like, you know.
Right, and Bruce also has his man voice. When Bruce talks, or when Caitlyn talks, I hear Bruce. I hear Bruce. You know, there's a woman in Europe who has changed her skin from white to black. You're right. You're right. I do remember Watermelon Man, but I don't remember it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just like the Black Like Me, I don't fully remember like how it worked. Let me see if I can get this link real quick. Okay. How do you?
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
Some black experience racism say, but hey, interesting question. When someone who is black experienced racism say, their way out is to be identified as white, or if white and want to be like black folks because you are so down with it that you can change to black. There's a dude in the Senate or running for some position, or governor, or lieutenant governor of North Carolina. You might want to Google this. And basically, he said that black people ain't owe no reparations. And in a nutshell, we owe, if anything, because others have come before us. And, you know, we're more privileged now, or something like that. So to your comment, hey, interesting question. Does someone who is black experiencing racism say their way out is to be identified as white, or white and want to be black like folks? We all gonna be put back in your place. Everybody. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. I see it like you can front all you want. We seen what's the baseball player, man? They used to play. I think he played for the Yankees, man. And turned his skin.
Oh, Sosa.
White. Yo.
Yeah.
That dude was damn near my complexion. Yo.
Yeah.
You can play with this all you want.
Oh boy.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Play with this all you want, but yeah, Sammy Sosa.
Sosa. Mm-hmm.
You know,
he out there bleaching.
But super bleaching, spleaching.
Yeah.
Yo.
He looked like a different person.
Huh?
Yeah, I seen pictures. He looked like unrecognizable.
Nephew. Yo, he looked horrible, man.
Yeah.
He looked horrible. But then some might say I'm racist if I want to be black. But see, the thing is, or some people say you crazy. I'm just being honest. You know, like, you know, and I grew up around a lot of dudes that were white that was with us, dressed like us, talk like us. None of them used the N-word around us. I'm gonna say it like that. So I'm not saying it didn't happen, because it might have, because that's how, you know, I think I told the story of my best friend, like my brother, like we never spoke again once he used that word. You know what I mean? And I told you about that. Remember that? Did I bring that up, Charles? You remember that? I don't know if he was my guy, and he put a Facebook post up, and we hadn't seen each other in years, and we were raised together. He's Italian. I'm black.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. And he argued with me about what he wrote, and I'm telling him like, "Yo, you my bro, right? Take it down. There's nothing to discuss. There's no discussion. It's almost like that Don Lemon moment with the guy from India.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't tell me anything about that word. Nothing. Now, if I'm having the same discussion with somebody that looks like me or is black, then they can have a discussion because our experiences are pretty much somehow going to be connected, right, wrong, or indifferent. But he's like, no, you know, and he argued with me. So it's like, yo, like, you know, and I cut him off. Our whole lives, and we had never. It was crazy because he would come on my page sometimes, and like I had a picture of my grandmother up there, and he commented on my grandmother's picture, right, Charles? And he was like, you know, I miss grandma, blah 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 blah. Yo, my inbox was flooded. Yo, who's this white guy talking about your grandma? I'm like, grandma was his grandma. Like, his pops was like my pops. Like, you know, and it threw people off. Wait a minute. You got white family members? I'm like, wait a minute, you don't? You know, like, we're all connected in some way, somehow. But that racism thing is yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he ain't changed up on his position. I ain't changed up on mine. And you know, until he died, God bless his spirit. Yeah, like we never spoke again because like, you know what I'm saying? And I wish it didn't have to be that way because you know, that was my dude when we were children. Me moving away to North Carolina, it altered some of my tight connections, even though we all stay tight. You know what I'm saying? But Steve just wrote, trans debate is overshadowing gay rights issues. I think people are strongly supportive of gay marriage, for example, but the trans issue doesn't necessarily fit the same fight. Pushing the trans cause may be unfairly blowing back in an adverse way to the. Steve, I agree. I fully agree, and that's what the trans man was saying. He was like, yo, like he also said like I'm an older transsexual. Like he's like we didn't. It was just different. Like we were fighting not to be called transvestite. We were fighting to be called trans women, but we understood that we were men that were becoming women. You know, like we weren't denying. You know, I'm not gonna go watch the tape because I don't want people covered to have to be there. Because sometimes wake up, Charles. We ain't doing this tonight. We ain't staying on here. Get your behind up. You are doing well. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Yo, no matter.
You only got a few more minutes.
Yo, let me tell you. No matter where you see my eyes go, I'm up. I'm just relaxed, but I'm in relaxed mode. But I'm up.
You pause, bro. You can't talk about just your eyes, man. You know, you can't just talk about your eyes. But yeah, it's Charles driving right now.
Yup.
No, he's not driving.
I ain't driving.
He's not driving. He's not driving. No, he's not driving. You know. But I want to go back to this thing that Steve said. Both Steves, definitely friends of the show, been with us for forever. Yeah, but just going back to this point, I think, and I've said this before, but I'm gonna say it again. If you ever get a chance, watch the Stonewall Cafe riots. Watch the documentary on that. That's very educational. And if you're young and you're bisexual, gay, or trans, LGBTQ, watch that documentary. And the reason I tell people to watch it is because what you'll see is there's nothing new under the sun as far as some of these debates, except it reveals that community, the LGBTQ community, which at one time was just gay and lesbian, then it was gay, lesbian, and bi, and then gay, lesbian, trans, however they worked it. They already had their own issues, which is now been sort of muted. And now it's like the world is like, or a lot of people having issues with them. And I know in my community, and I've said this before, like, I'm not saying it wasn't no big deal, but was there gay bashing in the 80s? Absolutely. Absolutely. Make no mistakes about it. But the way this thing has played out over the last 5-10 years, it's like you would have thought that I was gay bashing when I had a heavy discussion on Facebook where a lesbian woman who's like a leader of that community out here was telling me how to dress my sons. And I'm trying to tell her, like, you telling me, because I put my boys in blue, I'm supposed to put them in tan and neutral colors? Why? Because they should have their choice, but you're choosing for them now. You're telling me, who's paying the bills, who's buying the clothes, who's working to take care of them, that I'm supposed to do something. And then finally I was like, where's your children? When you have your children, then you raise them accordingly. Oh, well, you know, you shouldn't be putting them in colors that affirm them to be boy. I'm a man. What the hell am I supposed to do? I'm a man.
So she's telling you should give it some time for them to maybe later on decide.
Hell no. No.
Choose.
No, there ain't no time and nothing, because it's not like I shop in the women's section or the young little girl section when I'm trying to dress them. So what the hell am I supposed to do? Like what? Like come on. Like come on, man. Like it was crazy. And then it's like it was so witty how she did it, because then she made it like I was attacking the whole community. I'm like, get the friggin', I ain't use that language. Cousin Paul, throw some money in the jar for me. Get out of here with that, because that's the crock of bull stuff. You're weaponizing how I'm teaching my sons. We go in the woods, we be dirty, like we do. And even my daughters, they come out in the woods, they be throwing rocks and stuff. We in the water, we doing all kinds of stuff. I'm just being dad. We sleep in tents. We set up tents and stuff. We doing all kinds of stuff. But you telling me I'm supposed to put them in neutral colors? No, you're violating your space, because now you're coming into my space.
Exactly. Like where do you even get that feeling you are, you know?
And then she tried to flip it. Oh, you have issues with gay people. No, I'm like, some of the closest people in my life are probably more gay than you. Like way more gay than you. If we're gonna have a gay ratio of gayness or whatever the hell, mind your business, because you're coming into my space. You don't know me. You don't know who my friends are. You don't know who my family are. You don't know what my connections are. You're looking at a Facebook post with some cute little kids, and then now I'm supposed to be dressing my children the way you're not dressing your children that you don't have. Nah, that ain't flying. Uh-oh, can I change the subject for just a moment? Recent show.
Look at Steve.
Break there. No, I didn't say I was a break dancer. I was one of the best poppers. You know, I was one of those. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't make me get up, yo. Yo, Pat, can you tell him something? Yo, can you tell him? You know, plain and simple. I agree. She should have shut the hell up. And we're going back to Steve's point real quick, because Steve's asked about. We're gonna come back to you, Pat. But I want to go back to what Steve was saying. That's he was going to, but he overlooks the fact that I was even better. First off, I had big laces, not only just in Adidas. I knew how to sort of rock them in my Nikes. All right, so you know, I was one of them. Secondly, I wasn't really that nice at breaking. I was decent, but when it came to that popping, yo, I was tearing heads up. I was taught by Reggie James. You know what I mean? And that was my big bro. And I had a gift, you know, and I was one of them. So I watch the movements now. I'm not nowhere near as nice as these young people I see now, and even some of the greats. I'm not, but I was nice. So if you wasn't popping, you know. But even then, hey, yo, Steve. Even then, there's a lot of gay people partying and clubbing and having a great time in the 80s. There's a lot of gay people enjoying hip hop and the culture. But you know what gay people wasn't doing? It wasn't telling you how to dress your kids. All right? That wasn't happening in the 80s and the 90s when I was, or the early 90s. Hey, I didn't have no children in the early 90s. Well, my oldest daughter was here, my adopted daughter. But it wasn't like, hey, you know, she's a young lady. You need to dress her in boys' clothes or dress her neutral. Yo, Pat, man, good looking, bro. I mean, I try to tell people, man, like if that tape ever shows up when the New York City Breakers came down, it's gonna prove my point. Because even they was like, yo, I was 12, killing it. I was nice. I could walk on. My walking on there, y'all like Michael Jackson? I was already way ahead of him. I'm just telling y'all, that 83 joint, I was way ahead of him. Way ahead of him. Nurshell has some serious poppers and break dances. So I do believe that, Steve, you was doing your thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For the culture.
For the culture?
Did it for the culture. Did it for the love of the culture.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. When you love people, man, you love people. You know what I'm saying? But we all got to stay in our place. I can't go to Charles' house right now and go, Charles, you need to put this dining room set in your living room and the colors of your house. You can't do that. People got to stay in their place. You know? Yes, he did. Actually, he learned what's the two dances from breaking that taught him. One of them was DeBarge's backup. I mean, DeBarge's singer. I think he was one of my MJ's teachers. But also, I'm having a brain freeze. Oh my man, he just passed away. Was it? I'm having a brain freeze, yo. Tonight's is not one of the nights. I'm not. My hip hopness ain't really flying too good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, everything's centered around this 50th anniversary for hip hop.
Absolutely. The Moonwalk version, we was already way ahead of that. And I won both of my talent shows in elementary school. Shabba-Doo, he was one. But what's the other dude? No, Shabba-Doo was one, but what's the other dude, man? Shabba-Doo for certain. Hold on a second. Since we talk about hip hop. Oh, let me see. Gotta have these if you want to talk about hip hop with me. You gotta have some wax and some vinyl. You gotta have some records.
Man, what's that collection look like?
28 crates. Yep. 28 crates. 2 Technique 1200s, a Gemini mixer. My Gemini don't work though. I got another mixer. You know,
yeah, damn, look at this Thriller.
I got 2 MJ Thriller albums. Vinyl. One is mint, the other one is sort of you know? Yeah. Yeah. And now I'm in the children's store, some gender neutral clothing. It looks girly to me. Well, that's a whole nother discussion, especially when we're talking about emasculation, but we ain't gonna talk about that tonight because then it's gonna look like, oh boy, they on that emasculation stuff.
And then, I mean, yo, some clothes were already like gender neutral, man, without even labeling it that. Like a pair of jeans, you know, I mean, even though they could fit differently, but like khakis, you know, like, yeah, women, you wear those for like school uniforms.
Bro, I was wearing pink Latigras and Azads in 83, 84.
Yeah, I tell people that all the time. Like when they was talking about pink, I was like, man, I had pink when I was back in school in the 80s. What are you talking about? I had a pair of pink and maroon Pumas when I was in Albert Leonard.
Christina, if you want to chime in or if you want to even jump on, we would love to hear it. We on here for about another 13 to 15 minutes because Charles about to do a dating nap at night. He about to.
They always tell me I'm asleep, man.
Charles is over there struggling like hell. Charles over there struggling like hell. You know, well, he's not the most natural in the world. Oh my goodness. So on MJ, y'all can sleep on MJ and Prince and all the other ones. And I don't believe MJ was touching children. I know some people do.
Nah, he said that's the Eddie Murphy joke.
Oh my gosh, that went over my head. Oh Lord, no.
Well, he's definitely not the most masculine fella.
Yeah, man. I wasn't even thinking about Turbo. I'm thinking about it was one more, man. I can't believe this. Oh shit. I'm just having a moment. Shamon, look. Yo, you wild, boy. Gotta put my daughter to bed. Yo, Steve.
Yeah, all right, so, bro.
Steve, listen, we're gonna shout you out early, and have a great evening. Steve, thanks for jumping on and chiming up and vibing with us, because we're gonna be shutting down in about no more than 10 minutes. I'm looking, we had 1 hour and 19 minutes, and we're not staying out here much longer. Michael Jackson, who can sing, is a good-looking fellow, but ain't the most masculine fellow. I remember that. I do remember that. I think Eddie Murphy said, in that same concert, when you go out with a young lady and you go to order the food and she goes, "I'll just have a salad." Remember he said that? He said, "I'll just have a salad." Yo, do you know the young lady who I went and watched that show with became my girlfriend, and she ordered a salad? She ended up cheating on me. Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy was right, yo, why he call out my whole friend, like my whole relationship? Like he called me out, Oh man. Yeah, man. Eddie Murphy was something crazy back then, man. He was Eddie Murphy. Like, yeah, man, she cheated on me, man. Cheated on me with a baseball player. And he was at Mount Vernon High School, Charles.
Oh, that's crazy.
Cheated on, man. Yeah. I wasn't right, man. I was a young, nice guy, man. Nice guy, man. They don't talk about when you get your heart broke early.
How them women be out there cheating. Oh boy.
Cheating hard. Like
you be out there cheating. Man. And women be out there cheating, okay?
Cheating hard. Cheating. You don't even know.
Just quietly cheating.
She had me so open. She said, "I want to go to church with such and such, such, such. He's a friend of the family." Oh, sure. I'm on, ain't no more. Yo, I learned early.
Hi, Devin, the other guy.
That's what little Kai said.
Tell the other guy. Tell the other guy said hello.
Audio Charles said, "What up? What up, Kai?" Oh man, what do you say? Oh, I can't say. Oh Lord, I don't say neither one of them. Because I'll tell you something. You say that, a lot of people say it, but I ain't willing to say it because I don't want that problem. I don't want that problem. I grew up with my friends calling me black. I never claimed it for myself. I never felt that need to say the word. I felt like it's just disrespectful. They might have been, or they might have been being playful. When we were coming up, one of our light-skinned friends, we called him white, and we actually called him sunlight and stuff, and it was the joke. Now shoot, I was called every kind of blackness, crunchy black. Anything they could say, because I was dark skinned, and eventually it was like, whatever, yeah. Oh no, yo, Steve, we good, man. Listen, you can say anything you want to say, Steve. You grow man. You already know. I only get a little particular when it comes to black women. I do. I get particular about women, period. So there's no women I'm just going to outwardly call out their name. But I get more, and just a little bit more particular when it comes to black women because, we're a lot of us are trying to tell black women that you're not bees and you're not whores and you're not these things. And even if you had a run where you were doing some crazy things and nobody knew you was out there sort of doing some crazy things, okay, you had a moment, but we're not going to call you that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, well, yeah. And that that's another thing. Like when we on these lives, this stuff once it goes into the digital world, it lives forever. So it's important that like whoever you are, you should be like. And this is really who I am. And most of you all have been very consistent. We did have some phony people up here in the early days, and we had some people coming on here doing all kinds of crazy stuff, saying crazy stuff, and then you know I'm old school. Like when I saw Charles when we was all at Dev's birthday party, we all like came together briefly, you know, and all they kept going to my mind was like, if that individual who was on this platform was in this room right now, would he say anything he was saying on that live to Charles right now? I was willing to bet everybody's meal in there, 60-something people. He wouldn't have did it. He wouldn't have did it. Because audio Charles would have been beat your ass, Charles, and Charles would have been like, yo, Charles, let him go, Charles.
Yeah, when he was
get my Shirley Temple. Let him go. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, growing up, I mean, you know, you might say a lot of crazy things, but you know, ultimately, as you get a little older, and you learn and you start to understand like people's sensitivities, especially when it comes to culture and race. You know, if you really care about people, like for instance, like I don't call white people or European people out of their name. You're not gonna hear me calling them negative things. I'm just not gonna do it. Does it happen? Yeah, people say all kinds of negative things. I'm not gonna do it because I don't want you doing it to me. Now, if I ever got into a moment and somebody called me something racist, and then if I decided to stoop that low and call them something that would be considered racist or would be racist, then it's a spade for a spade. But I don't even get myself in those situations. A lot of times, you know, love is love. Like, you know, I'm going over here. I don't want no problems with nobody. I just want to pop and play records.
Exactly.
Listen to music.
Enjoy life, man. That's the key.
More life. Enjoy life. You know.
Yeah, man.
So listen, bro. We didn't talk about so much stuff that happened this week.
Yeah.
Bro. We didn't talk about.
It's always a little different when I'm not able to be like home at a computer, stationary a little bit too, man. So
nah, but we said, yo, we on here. Everybody that's up here hanging with us, y'all are definitely the other co-hosts. Make no mistakes about it. And that's why, like, if you ever want to just chop it up, come on, like, because we just carve out a little bit of time to spend time with you all, and you carve out a little bit of time to spend time with us, and it means a lot. And what be tripping me out is like people be calling me off throughout the week, like, yo, I was watching, and y'all said this. I'm like, you wasn't on the live. They're like, what are you talking about? I was right there on YouTube. I'm like, oh, you on YouTube? Like, people are watching that are not even engaging, but they're watching. So, you know, I'm going to start making y'all help.
What type of papers?
What? Why are you even on here? Go through your paper. Do your paper.
What type of paper are you writing?
What type of paper? Oh, whoa. Before you answer, wait a minute. Because Charles might wake up for this, and we only got like 4 minutes left. We're not doing this tonight. Charles might literally go into a whole soliloquy of what and help you on the paper.
Yeah.
And we're not doing this tonight, Charles.
Now, I just want to know the subject matter, like, you know, because she said throwing questions at us. So that's what like threw me, like, what type of paper are you writing? If you're like throwing questions, are you like writing about like a subject, a current event, opinionated thing, like a Supreme Court decision or something, you know, like what type of paper?
Supreme Court going through it right now. Supreme Court going through it. We ain't tackle that. This week it's the what's your favorite film? What is that?
Yeah, I've never heard of that in my life. So if you ask me a question, Tempest is probably gonna get the blank stare. I have no idea what that is in film.
It means the Orchard theory, if I'm saying it correct, which was derived largely from Astruc's elucidation of the concept of cameo-style camera pen, hold that the director who oversees all audio and visual elements of the motion picture is more to be considered the author of the movie than is the writer of the screenplay. Whatever the hell that meant. We salute you. This is why you're getting paid the big bucks if you're working it out right now, because you're doing the work. Yeah. I'd have to read that like 18 more times to really understand what that means.
I don't even know what are you studying to write that?
Yo, you sleepy, yo.
What is this? What are you studying that you're writing that in about film? You know.
I'm still, yeah, he tired, y'all. I told y'all I that is a good question, but we got 2 minutes. We got a minute. Wait, we got
what is that? What are you writing that for? Then what are you actually studying? What is film 101? Okay, I mean, okay. But like what is film 101? Like what does that consist of doing?
3 questions from your 1 question. He ain't gonna stop until he's ready to take the damn class. We're not doing this tonight. Because by the time it's over, you'll be able to teach him everything you know. Because he's not going to stop. He just said, I don't know. Now he's asking questions to know. And then I guarantee you, he's going to read up on it. I guarantee you money. Next week, he'll be like, yeah, I just happened to go on and I learned about ultra theory. And don't waste your time right now because I'm telling you, he'll have you here for 35 more minutes.
Yeah, I want to know film 101. When you in New York, you always see them ads to like do audio engineering or film things. And sometimes like broadcasting and stuff. Like sometimes I'll be thinking like I should take one of these classes, man, just to,
hey, love is love, man. Yeah, why don't you take it?
Oh.
Okay. It's one of my basic classes on my way to BA in business operation and analysis. Salute. Congratulations.
Okay. Good luck with that, and hopefully get your degree
right
soon.
You, yeah? Matter of fact, Steve, you know what I'm gonna do right now? This is what I'm gonna do for you, Steve. I'm gonna play some StreamYard music. This is music StreamYard gives us to put over things. Let's see what it says. So as the music plays, you want to say to Steve, you know you're a good guy. And by far, you didn't offend nobody. And if you did offend somebody, they weren't watching the same show. They need to get the hell out of it. To that beat. That's pretty cool. This one says dance pop. Let's see if we can talk. See, this is for you, Steve. Hold on. Oh, I get it. This is that music where the lights come out. And the DJ starts doing this. So, Steve, if you offended anybody, you didn't offend your Real Talk family. So Steve, you are one of us, and we are one of you. Yo, that was all right there. I could have definitely heard that in the Blade movie when he started cutting up vampires. I don't know. All right, hold on. This one says night driving. And this is, hold on. I would never think of that. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So this piece of music right here is just calming music because we almost had a misunderstanding in the Real family, which wasn't a misunderstanding at all. Because the reality is, we really talk on this thing, and that's what we do up there. And if we play this music much longer, Charles gonna be slobbing on his right shoulder. Charles gonna be struggling. I'm
gonna just lean back and be like, "Yo, we zoning out. We are zoning out."
Man, listen, man. We had a great time rapping with you all.
As usual.
Fun. Thank you all for hanging out with us. And and just being a part of what we do. And please be safe out there. I haven't said that in a long time. And Kai was asking me about house music. I told him to call you because I'm an R&B head. Yo, I got a whole house folder like on Spotify, and I actually have vinyl, but it's not like the good stuff. I haven't been able to find it. You know, definitely want to tell you all, to be safe, and we're going to take off next week, so we won't be here next week. We're going to take off.
Next week ain't good.
Charles is going to Singapore, where they hang people for 2 pounds of candy.
No, I'm actually going to Bali. I'm only gonna stop in Singapore. I'll be in Singapore for like a day. But yeah.
He's going to Bali. But he won't be here next week. So Charles, we want you to travel safe. That's not one of their pieces of music, by the way. Don't say that. One of my pieces of music is the way back. Okay.
Lay back and zone out.
Shira, where you been? You know
Hey, it's that diamond girl.
When you come in here, you gotta say like you here or something.
It's that diamond girl. Oh yeah. Bali, yeah. They say it's beautiful, definitely. But yeah, we gonna see. I get over there and see. Oh please, come on, diamond girl.
This is the first time you was here.
My diamond girl.
You probably just got here 4 minutes ago. That's what it is. Shira was like, "Dang, I'm super late."
Let me go on there in the last minute so I could talk my.
Yeah, and say, "Enjoy your trip."
Hold on. So I could type my shit. He ain't talking it. Type my shit. Hey, what's up? What's up, Tashara?
The theme song sounds a little different though. The theme song, that joint is pretty dope, but it sounds a little different. We happy that you're here, Tashara. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Oh boy.
Thank you all. Charles was singing my theme song. Or maybe I missed it. I don't know.
Oh no, because I was singing that Diamond Girl.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Right, that's the thing.
That was
Tashara, Diamond Girl.
That's right. You still didn't announce yourself earlier, so how was we gonna know you were here, Tashara? But we're glad that you announced yourself when we're like closing out. We're like 6 minutes over the time, and we're really just what are we doing? Man, listen, man. Have a good night, man.
Yeah.
Everybody have a good night. Tashara, you got anything else you want to say before we go?
Yeah.
Oh, we got to shout everybody out real quick.
What's up, Tashara?
Tashara. Tempest, Christina, Kelly was here. Curtis, Diamond Girl. Louie Lou was in the building.
Yes.
Steve was
Tempest,
in the building.
Thie, Christina.
Thie was in the building. Kristen was in the building. Perry was in the building.
Yeah.
Let's see. Pat Walton was in the building.
Yeah.
Steve Gibson showed up tonight. Yo, he was cooking. Cousin Paul was in the building. Cousin Paul. Joe, living by my own rules. Martinez was in the building. Let's see, who am I missing? I got both Steves. I'm missing somebody. Who am I missing? Tashara is in the building. I gotta say it like that. Tashara is in the building. Okay. But if you don't say something like extra, she gonna start some stuff up in there. You gotta be nice to Tashara. Tashara is in the building.
Oh yeah.
Cause I'm messing with
ain't having it.
I was joking to shit. She don't be.
No, she not having it, and she'll take that link in a minute and come up here and put me in my place.
Is that better? Tashara. Is that better? Tashara. Tashara. You haven't said Tashara and all these other times. How you get Tashara tonight? Tashara. Shira, or is it Ta?
Yeah, this is crazy. Yeah, we've been calling Tashira's name for like 2 minutes, okay? Like, Tashira, Diamond Girl, hey Tashira. Is it Tashira? Is it Tashira? Yeah.
You started it because you started singing Diamond Girl, and then she wrote it out. Shira. I almost feel like when you say it, it's like in a movie or something.
Tashira.
Yeah. I probably.
Yo, but anyway, yo, it's all love.
Yes, absolutely all love. Much love and respect to all of you all. Thanks for hanging out with us. And we up out of here. Peace.